So you have a wad of cash and you're trying to think about whether you should pay off debt or invest it. If so, you found the right video. Hey Daniel, intro please. Hey, how's it going, friend? Juan Pablo here. Thank you so much for watching this video and taking a look at our video, at our channel, I should say. Now, on this channel, we typically like to discuss three major pillars that lead to financial freedom, which are personal finance, that relates to credit, budgeting, all that good stuff. We also like to discuss funding, having a repeatable source of investment capital, all this good stuff. And when last and certainly not least, we'd like to discuss real estate investing with an emphasis, with a focus on multi-units and multifamily properties. So if you're new, make sure you like the video and subscribe so that way Google, its algorithm, can do its thing and provide you with additional videos to help you along your journey towards becoming financially free. Now, with this video, if you find it valuable, share it with others, right? Especially if you have friends that are like-minded individuals. Why? So that way you can help them along as well with their journey towards becoming financially free. And secondly, if the two of you vibe on this video, why not forge an accountability group? So that way the two of you can hold each other accountable, which will help you both get to that next level where real estate investing is concerned. So without further ado, let's get into the topic. All right, so I'm gonna break down some education here, right? You might be sitting on some cash. Who knows? Maybe it might be cash that's within your retirement account. It could be cash that you have in savings. You could have received an inheritance. You might have a property with a ton of equity and you're looking to tap into that equity, pull it out and use it towards a deal. You might have a business in which you had a great quarter, great year, great month, and you want to reinvest those earnings into another, or those profits I should say, into a property. Whatever the case may be, congrats to you for having some liquid capital, okay? Now you might be thinking, okay, so what should I do with this capital? I might have a mortgage, I might have other credit card debt, I have a ton of debt, but I'm wondering if I should use this money towards real estate. Juan Pablo, how should I go about thinking this? Okay, what's the first thing you should think about right here? Let's say you had $50,000, okay? And let's say, and that was liquid cash, by the way. And let's say you had $50,000 worth of debt. You might be thinking, well, I want to use this $50,000 to either pay down debt or use it as a down payment to go towards an investment property, let's say towards an 8 unit, okay? Assuming you're using mortgages and other forms of financing in addition to that $50,000. So the first thing you want to be focused on is this. What yields a better return? This is what I mean. A return is basically the yearly savings or profit that you'll make yearly, 12 months, okay? Just in case you don't know what a year is, I'm joking. And you divide that by your total investment. In this case, $50,000. So let's take the first scenario, paying down debt. You have $50,000 worth of debt, whether it's a mortgage, personal credit cards, and total is $50,000. So you want to do the math and say, okay, if I use this $50,000 to pay off my personal debt, how much would that save me? Because I'm making payments every month. So my payments will be reduced to zero. So how much will I save if I pay down this debt? So if you do the math, let's say you're saving $1,500 a month with that $50,000, $1,500. So if you do the math, for your return again, the numerator will be your savings times 12 months. So if you're saving $1,500, let me pull out my calculator. 1,500 times 12 months, that's $18,000 of savings. If they use that $50,000 to pay off debt. Now we're going to divide that $18,000 by $50,000. That's the amount you put in. That's a 36% return, which is really good to pay off debt. Now, let's do the same thing if you're buying a property. So let's say you were buying a property and you realize with that $50,000 to buy 8 unit, let's say that 8 unit is cash flowing $200 a door per unit. So $200 times 8 unit is $1,600 a month in cash flow. Assuming all debts paid, reserves for maintenance and vacancies, all expenses are accounted for. The profit in your pocket is 200 times 8 units, $1,600 a month. So what we do is we take that 1,600, multiply that by 12, then you just show the numbers on the screen. He's my editor, by the way, we just gets curious. 1,600 times 12 months is 19,200. And if you divide that by 50,000, that comes out to 0.384. So to round it, it's a 38% return. So if you pay down debt, you'll receive a 36% return. But if you invest it into that 8 unit, you will receive a 38% return. So that's the first thing, the return. And obviously, the decision is a no-brainer. You want to go with the option that produces the highest return, that yields the highest return. Now, that's the second thing. Oh, and by the way, I do have a video recommendation for you. So if you're interested in knowing more about the metrics and cash flow about a deal and how we do the math and so forth, just check the link below in the description to learn more. Now, the second thing you want to consider with this decision is this. Yes, the return is important. I get that. But you also want to think about effort. Effort, what do you mean by that, Juan Pablo? Well, many gurus out there, they always focus on debt reduction or they focus on living below your means. Why is that? Because it's easy. It takes zero to no effort to stroke a check, right? And send it to your mortgage lender. Sign off a check, do a wire transfer, bill pay, or what have you to pay down a credit card. It's extremely easy. It takes little to no financial literacy to pay down debt or reduce your expenses. So that's one thing you want to think about. Are you interested more so in ease of effort? Now with real estate investing, it does require additional effort. Why? Because you have to acquire financial literacy. You have to increase your business acumen. You have to learn investing. And as a result of learning these things, you also got to look out for deals that fit what you've learned. You have to do analysis. You have to meet with agents. You got to reach out with wholesalers. You got to get the money together. So it's more work involved. There's more effort involved. It's not as easy as just stroking a check and paying down debt. So even though in that scenario, investing in real estate yields a higher return by 2 percentage points, by 2%, I should say. If your mission is to make it easy, and you just want to realize the gains quickly by just saving that money, then by all means, go with the first option. Just pay down the debt. Because it's simple, it's easy, no effort involved. So you got to think about that. Now the third thing to think about with this decision is this, the intangibles. Ooh, intangibles. Just think about it. If you just pay down the debt, again, that's easy, we discussed that. You still get a decent return, 36. It ain't 38, it's 36, it's still decent. However, you're missing out on the intangibles that real estate provides. What are those intangibles? Well, the intangibles is this. So when you pay down your debt, sure, you get a benefit. Here's an intangible. You got more debt at your disposal, so you can use it in the future if needed. You know, if you had a credit card and it was $50,000 charged to it and you pay $50,000 to it, you now have additional $50,000 in credit. So the intangible is you have more debt to use in the future, plus you might have an improved credit score if you need your credit score to jump up as a result of that debt pay down. Okay, so there's some intangibles with debt. Now the intangibles with real estate are, well, if you actually acquire the business acumen, acquire the financial literacy, did the work, it can yield even huge returns. Outside of the 38% return, which is higher than paying down debt in that scenario, you can also leverage equity. Because when you acquire a property, if you do it right, you know, if you follow our teachings, you acquire a property, you have built-in equity that you can leverage later. When you pay down debt, sure, you might have that credit line available, but you don't have built-in equity. You also don't have appreciation. It's not like you pay off your credit card or your student loans or your mortgage, and as a result of it being paid off, let's say with debt, student loans and mortgages, it's not like that credit line is going to appreciate. That credit card is not going to appreciate, right? But when you buy a property, you can tap into the appreciation. And you can tap into the appreciation based upon the market conditions. the natural appreciation rate in that market can go up without you doing a thing. But you can also force the appreciation by your management style, by increasing the rent, decreasing the expenses. And I'm getting excited about this because it's so true. And as you force depreciation, you, by your intellect and your hard work, you're making the property worth more. So you're building more and more equity to the point you can tap into it and use that towards your next deal. So that's a huge intangible. And plus, you can also do rent increases. So for instance, that's another intangible. So let's say for instance that you're making $1,600 a month in cash flow year one. Again, that's $200 per unit in cash flow times 8 units. But of course, like every good landlord does, they do rent increases on an annual basis. So every year you get to increase those rents, and it produces more cash flow. And as a result of that additional cash flow, it has a positive impact on the NOI, the net operating income, and it makes your property worth more as well. There's so many intangibles. Plus, by owning an 8 unit, you also obtain credibility to the point your rap sheet goes up, your reputation goes up, your credibility goes up. That other people are observing you, whether it's family, friends, your association, your network, and so forth, your colleagues, your associations, they want to partner with you on the next one. So you get private money. All because you made the wise decision to buy an 8 unit. Now, those are some huge intangibles. So those are the things we like to think about in our training, right? I have a video below as well. This just talks a little bit about real estate. Just check the links below. This is a video I want to recommend for you, just in case I can break it down more. Because for some, right, as I say these things, it may go over your head. Or you might feel like a 5th grader in a college course. That's how I was at my first networking event. And I realized, every expert wants a beginner. And I get it, right? However, if some of these things are going over your head, or if you did catch it and you're like, hey, I do understand what you're saying, Juan Pablo, it makes perfect sense. However, I just don't know the first step to getting started, or the third step to getting started. Because I reached this plateau, how do I get to this level? How do I get to multifamily? Then I have a free training for you. All you have to do, my friend, is just check the link below in the description to learn more. And as always, guys, this is to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.